All right, joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, former Pirate great Aundrae Allison to get you ready for ECU Tulane and talk about what's going on in the world of football. Aundrae, how you doing, man?
I am doing great. I am doing great today. Looking forward to this Thursday night matchup for sure.
Yeah, against a good opponent. Tulane coming in with just one loss, and that was to Ole Miss, and pretty good wins on their ledger as well. Northwestern, they're a Big Ten team, so you got to count that for something. But the win over Duke is looking better and better each week. Duke has now won 3 in a row since Tulane beat them. So we know we're facing a good opponent. And real quick, Aundrae, I was thinking about this. Like Tulane has been through ups and downs. I would say more downs overall than ups. They had the great year with Sean King in the late
Yeah,
90s.
yeah, I remember that.
And then during your time, I was trying to think if it matched up. It was a one-man team. Did you ever play against Matt Forte when he was with Tulane?
Oh, you know what? No, I did I play I don't think I did. No,
I
I
know
think
he was with CJ. It might have been after you.
yeah, because
Yeah.
CJ and Matt Forte actually they have a good relationship. Their relationship was strong throughout the whole time they were in the pros. So yeah, I think it was CJ for sure.
But
Yeah,
man, he
he,
was he was a tough dude. Great player for the Bears as well.
oh yeah, he was a beast.
I want to get back to ECU Tulane, but I was thinking about speaking of former guys. One of my all time favorites, and now he's back in the spotlight. He's working at Barstool, but he's been doing stuff with the Commanders over the years. Fred Smoot, and so he was with Washington. His name, people might remember his time in Minnesota for the wrong reasons, but
Yeah.
then went back to Washington. But were you ever teammates with Smoot in Minnesota?
No, I was not. But however, I was teammates with several players that was there whenever his tenure was like during the Minnesota days, and the stories that you hear is so unbelievable. I mean, the guy is he's hilarious. So yeah, it's just a lot of classic stories that I heard, and I've always held him at one of those top level cornerbacks in the league, and he definitely held his own. But I heard a lot of entertaining stories about the gentleman, so I'm happy that he's actually like putting himself out there and
I agree.
doing things on television and things like that.
I want everybody to see him because he's so entertaining. And when he played, he would not stop talking, and
Yeah.
he'd get beat on a time or two. But if he made a play, he would let the world know it. And I think us fans want to see guys have the joy out there and the love for football. And Smoot was that way, man. And I loved. Went to a game. He had a pick to seal the deal against Seattle. Picked off Hasselback, and the whole crowd was going Smoot. And yeah, just love that stuff. Who were the biggest talkers, Aundrae, during your time in the NFL?
Pat Williams, I played with him, D line. Warren Sapp. Oh my goodness, he was just like it was unbelievable the stuff coming out of his mouth. Brett Favre talked a lot of trash. Cornerbacks, a lot of cornerbacks and safeties, they talk a lot of trash.
Yeah.
From Antonio Cromartie, people like that. Yeah, those guys for sure. But the D, for some reason, D linemen, they're a different animal. Like they talk nonstop, and they never get tired. It's like, how are you rushing the passer and stopping the run like this, and all you're doing is talking? But those guys it was a different level with
Yeah.
those guys.
And now everything is mic'd up. I'm surprised we don't hear more. We heard, did you see the Chris Jones and Jalen Hurts at the end of the game where Jones said something like, yeah, you had 100 yards passing, you ain't nothing. And Hurts said, we won the effing game, though. So they're going
Yeah.
back and forth as the snap's about to happen. So I love that stuff, man.
No, I have to do, I love it too. I think the league has kind of toned it down. I feel like it used to show a lot more or something, especially with like NFL films and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I grew up on that, and that's what made me really want to go to the league, seeing like the mic'd up scenes and the behind the scenes things that people would be saying on the bench and in the locker room. I kind of feel like the NFL sort of got away from that, and I wish it was just a little bit more like in your face, just so we can see the behind the scenes. It just has a different connection and feel for the fan.
While we're on the topic, and I promise we will get back to ECU and Tulane, but last night, pretty big result, Aundrae. It wasn't a passing of the torch or anything, but are the Patriots back? That was a big result in Buffalo last night to be able to close that one out, even after they blew a lead. Buffalo came back, tied it up, but Drake May, Stephon Diggs still getting it done. had a big game against his old team. And what'd you make of that, Andre? Are you taking the Patriots serious?
I always take the Patriots serious because honestly, teams that are successful, it's not like a coincidence. It's like from the top down, the organization, it's just a winning formula, like from ownership all the way down. So yeah, they might have a few down years, but they're just like figuring it out, putting the right pieces in place, and those pieces are gonna have to be like lined up with the top organizational people. And it was only a matter of time before they, picked the right quarterback, et cetera, et cetera. So I do feel like May he has a good upside. And then as far as like the coaching staff and some of the pieces they brought in, all he needs is a few, a tight end here or there. He got a big play guy like Diggs. The defense and special teams is always going to be top tier. So
Yeah.
they've never really too much went away to me because I always think about the Kraft family and the GMs and things like that being so heavily involved with their success.
One of those franchises, Andre, when you say those things, I think about the Ravens, who are very stable, good drafting organization there
For
year in,
sure.
year out. But it shows you how devastating injuries can be. And, it can't just be Lamar. They can't just lose Lamar and lose by 50 like they did to the Texans. But they've definitely got some defensive issues. We saw Kansas City has kind of sleptwalked through the season. They roll up a lot of points against them. So that's pretty shocking to see what the Ravens are. And they are digging themselves a giant hole. And, if Lamar misses another game or two, they're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, for sure. It's tricky though because the season it's still kind of early in the season. Um, I look at it like if the Ravens kind of turn around mid-season going into the end of the season, they can kind of gain some momentum. But they will be a very scary team if they're like one of those bad seeds going against a top tier
Right.
team.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would not be because that's just sometimes how it matches up. They've done that in the past. It was like a 6, 7, 8 seed, and they beat the Patriots and stuff like that. So it's only a matter of time, because football is one of those unpredictable things. They might have injuries now, and some of the teams that are have a better schedule, they don't have any injuries, but it could just totally reverse. I mean, you just never know. So I look at them like they definitely still have a great chance to make the playoffs at least and make a run because they got too many pieces and they got great coaches, great GM, and great ownership.
Aundrae Allison joining us. Andre, Pirates coming off a bye, as is Tulane heading into this game on Thursday. One thing we talked about last week was red zone. I'm sure that was a key point for ECU during the bye week. What else? As we look at these first 5 games of the season, Pirates are 3-2. Defense has been pretty phenomenal, especially considering what we thought they'd be. Offense has been okay, but not quite what we want to see, the finished product. So, what do you want to see the improvements upon heading into this second half of the season? This will be the midway point after this game. But what do you want to see the Pirates do better starting Thursday night?
I would love for them just to put together a full, complete game, and not just like lean so heavy on either offense or defense. Make sure we protect the ball, and also like I feel like the players are there, and we're one step away from meshing and gelling together. It's just gonna take one of those breakthrough games, and this could be the game that kind of like push us over the hump, to continue the season and go in the right direction and finish with like enough wins to have a bowl game. But it's no better game than to play, Tulane, a team that, like you said, has been battle tested. To go out there and stake your claim as one of the teams to definitely be taken serious.
Andre, one thing John David Baker said last Tuesday on the Brian Bailey show, he'd like to kind of dwindle down the 3 running backs getting action to 2 to help them get in a rhythm and things like that. And there's hurt feelings in football, in all walks of life, in all businesses. I mean, you yourself go from the guy at ECU getting the targets, getting the yards, getting the catches to fighting for a spot, at the next level. Everybody's awesome in high school. They get to college, they're fighting for a spot, and
Yeah.
it continues on. So, I guess you got to look past, because I almost feel like at this point to the season, we've got so many guys we're trying to get involved, kind of nobody's getting in that rhythm. And as a running back, I feel like you need to get those carries, to get going, to get lathered up, as they say. So how do you feel about that? How do you keep everybody happy, but also, go find out who your main guys are?
Yeah, I think I would stick more with just 2 backs for sure. Not try to make everybody happy. That's going to be impossible. But yeah, whoever has, I would say, like the mojo or whoever, you'll see it in practice. I feel like the players and coaches, they know who's who, but it does feel like they're just trying to make too many people happy. And this
Yeah.
is college football, one step closer to the pros. So something is going to have to, shake when it comes down to this situation because, like you said, it's hard to get into a rhythm. You're looking over your shoulder. You got this package coming in, this package coming in. It's always good just to establish one starting running back, and then just have somebody come in for like special packages on third down or whenever your main running back gets a little winded.
And look, it's awesome to have the depth, right? I mean, we've seen that, and you need that. But as far as getting touches, it looks like that JDB wants to go with just two guys moving forward. How about the tempo, Andre? He wants to go fast. At times you can go too fast. At times you're getting this defense winded, and it's working. Do you like what ECU does from a tempo standpoint so far?
I do. I do. I mean, you could always speed it up, but as of right now, it's a lot of pressure and a lot of energy expended on the defense. So if we do speed it up even more, I would like to do it based on like capitalizing in the red zone, actually putting points up, because that would just take a lot off of the defense. And that's the main thing. That's how I look at it. You're gonna speed it up. Let's get more creative. Let's get more innovative. And everybody, bring their A game to where we don't have like small infractions like the jumping off sides and things like that we had in the past. So yeah, speed it up, but let's put points on the board when you speed it up as well.
Special teams, Andre, that can make or break a game. Pirates have been good in some areas, rough in other areas.
Mhm.
We've seen now back-to-back weeks where a punt, ends up at the 1, where it could have ended up at the 20. That's something that they really got to figure out, not to get backed up so far on offense. But special teams, especially in games, the spread I think is less than a touchdown. It's within a
Yep.
touchdown, so one
hmm
possession or another, it can be determined on special teams. So, how about that moving forward? What do you want to see from this ECU special teams group?
Yeah, definitely just better decision making for those people who are involved with special teams, especially being on the road. Big time game. We definitely can't have any small little turnovers or hiccups like that because Tulane, they're a pretty balanced offense, so they can make you pay for stuff like that. So we don't want to give any like freebies or any handouts. We got to make them earn it. And I think we definitely would do that for sure.
Crazy stat, man, because we had Dwayne Harris, who was he's my all-time favorite Pirate, and every punt return was an adventure, and he'd break 8 tackles. You would assume he'd had 3 touchdowns. He didn't have a touchdown. You know the last Pirate to have a punt return for a touchdown, Andre?
I do not. Was it Travis?
Travis Williams. That's
Yeah, Travis Williams.
that's
Yeah.
20 years ago.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, Travis was a beast back there too. Yeah,
I
that
heard he
was.
liked to talk too.
Oh my God, yes, yes, he was a talker for sure. Talker for sure. Yeah, I remember that. I remember the game he actually returned it. Yeah, that's funny for sure.
I can't remember. It might have been Rick Smith who said, or no, it was probably Greg Hudson because he likes to talk junk, but said Travis had an impressive amount of parking tickets during his time at ECU, but
Yeah,
statute of limitations.
yeah. I think that was something that was a reoccurring thing for a lot of players at that time for sure.
And regular students, we still complain about the parking police out there, Andre. But anyway,
Yeah, I know. I think it's like a very like tricky built-in strategy that these colleges implement just to
yep.
add extra capital to the economy in the city wherever they are.
You wonder where all the money's coming from them damn parking tickets.
I know, I know.
All right, Andre, big one on Thursday night. Good one on Monday Night Football tonight. And we kind of talked about, hey, the Patriots showed that they might be for real with the win last night. This is a big opportunity for Jacksonville. Kansas City at Jacksonville, Monday Night Football. KC coming off the big win over Baltimore. Who you like tonight in the game, Andre?
I like Jacksonville. I think they've pretty much found their groove, their mojo. They look like they have an identity for sure. And then with the pickup of Travis Hunter, just the energy that he brings, the confidence that he brings. I like Jacksonville. They're loaded to me. And Kansas City, they still kind of like recovering from that big defeat in the Super Bowl. They don't look the same. And it's hard to sustain that amount of success for that long. They've dominated for pretty much 5 or 6 straight years. So I definitely like Jacksonville in this game.
And basketball is different than football, but it almost feels like I'm not going to bury Kansas City. It feels like, how LeBron or teams can kind of flip the switch once the playoffs begin and just go into to the beast mode or whatever. I feel like Kansas City come November, December might go on a tear because you brought it up, Andre. You think there is kind of a Super Bowl loss hangover for teams? We've seen that in the past where teams that lose in the Super Bowl just are not the same the following year.
Yeah, but I agree with you for sure. It might be one of those things that kind of like got their foot kind of off the pedal a little bit. They're a veteran seasoned team in the organization.
Yeah.
So they could definitely be doing that and then turn it up at the end of the season. That would not surprise me at all. But yeah, the hangover is definitely crept into this season, especially at the beginning stages. You can see it. They're still trying to like find their rhythm with each other, but they still have the top, the best player arguably in football and the best play caller in football as well. So, and then with Chris Jones and things like that. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a last minute push and a run to get all the way at least to the AFC Championship.
Andre, always enjoy talking football with you, man. Appreciate you, and
Man,
we'll do it again next Monday.
no, absolutely go Pirates this week, and I'm looking forward to talking to you Monday after we win.